All right, so Beyond Meat is up 100%, or it was up 100% in pre-market. It has made a massive run. I made a video yesterday talking about Beyond Meat's, short squeeze and why I like it. Usually, I don't go for short squeeze plays unless I see something that really interests me and catches my eye. This one did caught my eye, and for me, it felt the right play to kind of go for this short squeeze, and so far it has done absolutely amazing. And I think there's potential here for more. I think we can see this actually get through this $8.50, $8.75 resistance today and explode into 10 plus. I think this is very possible. I'll be closely watching this for sure. I am up a lot already. Bought it yesterday, and it already paid a lot yesterday, and to be able to gap up in the sixes and the sevens and the eights, I mean, it's a massive win already. It's probably like 2, 3, 400%. I don't know. I had $5 calls for November 11, so I'm up like a ridiculous amount of profit, especially in my main account. I'm up a ridiculous amount of profit. So I'm very, very excited for this. What I'm looking for heading into market open here is just staying around the $6, $7 mark, and definitely not break $5. $5 being like the big support. $5 holds, we should be able to get another leg up. If it stays around 6 or 7, I think around market open in the first half an hour, we're gonna get a lot of volume and a massive spike. There's gonna be some sellers, so you will see people taking gains because that's just normal, right? It's part of the game. But I think more retails are gonna join in and try to get this stock to kind of just ramp up into the tens. 10 is gonna be a very important spot to watch out for, because if we clear 10, it is a whole number. If we clear $10, I think 11 is very doable, and then 12 is extremely doable. Once 12 gets taken out, it's 15. That's 3 points off of 12. 15 gets taken out, I'm pretty sure you're just gonna start going crazy. The volatility is gonna get explosive. You're gonna get to 20 plus. That's when I would say the mega big short squeeze happens, and that would be really fun if it does, because I would make a lot of money, and everybody else would make a lot of money. So we all want that, right? So watch out for that, because there's potential here, and I'm not just saying it in the long sense, right? If, let's say, the momentum dies off and the hype dies out, you will be able to get an opportunity to play it on the downside after everything is done, right? Am I saying go do it right now? No, right? Don't fight the momentum. Don't fight the hype. Let this stock do its thing. Don't try to short it, because you will get trapped and you'll suffer for it. I'm seeing on Twitter that some people are opening up shorts, and I have a bad feeling about this, because I feel like they may get squeezed really hard. And yeah, I would not open a short position on a stock that's starting to get hype, because when things catch fire and people start talking about it, especially Wall Street Bets. If you go to Wall Street Bets right now, it's all about Beyond Meat. It's all about Beyond Meat. So retails are already extremely hyped up about this. They want Beyond Meat to go more. They want Beyond Meat to explode. And a lot of them are comparing it to, of course, GameStop. This is the next big one, and people are extremely hyped about it. So I would not want to fight this. I don't want to be a guy who shorts Beyond Meat right now, because if you go and try to short it too early, you will get burned for it. So be careful with that. Not recommended at all. What I do like, though, is that it seems like we're seeing some sellers in pre-market. Some people are trying to take profits. Maybe some shorts are entering. But I think when market open happens, we're going to see the next influx of volume coming in and pushing it higher, which is what I'm looking for, that $10 mark as the main breakout level. So keep an eye on this, because this could be, this could be a big one. This could do some major runs, and you'll get surprised by how big it can go. And it could be really fun. You could get a lot of profit along the way, even if you miss out on the initial entry, let's say yesterday, or when a lot of other people who have been entering it at 50 cents. I see a lot of people with position size in Wall Street Bets at 50 cents. I'm not the first person to notice this play. A lot of other people have already. I just like the way it looks. It gives me a vibe of potential big runner or a big short squeeze, hence why I'm playing it. Technicals look great as well, so there's another factor why I like it. Plus, it had a really good news, right? Expanding to Walmart, right? Distribution expansion on Walmart to 2,000 stores is a good news for Beyond Meat. So fundamentally, it's not that bad. Like GameStop, AMC, their fundamentals were kind of garbage. They didn't have fundamentals. They were more just screw the shorts and the hedge funds. The same thing applies to Beyond Meat, but Beyond Meat actually kind of has some good fundamentals, which could actually benefit even more. Like Beyond Meat could benefit more from that fundamental and run even higher. So just keep an eye on that. There is one more stock that I want to mention that could get a sympathy play. This is not my priority. This one, I don't know if it's even going to get a squeeze, but this one caught my eye and I got a little excited for it. So I may open up a position today, and I want to briefly mention it. It's not the priority. Beyond Meat is definitely my priority, but HTZ kind of giving me vibes, and this is just off of feeling. This stock barely has any volume. It is a $5 stock. Nobody's even noticing it, but it does have a pretty decent short interest. 44, almost 45% short interest. That's pretty good. 5.36 days to cover is what caught my eye. And that's interesting to me because obviously, if you don't know what days to cover is, it's basically how many days it will take for the shorts to cover. If we get a good squeeze on this one, shorts could get caught pretty badly. Nobody's noticing this one. I was doing some research on what other, short interest, high short interest stocks out there, because the similar thing happened when GameStop and AMC were spiking. Pretty much everything else around that hemisphere, SNDL and TLRY and so on and so. There were so many other stocks with high short interest that were also going up massively. And same thing with FFIE. When I played it, FFIE had an 85 or 82% short interest, and when that one squeezed and ran like crazy, there were sympathy plays that was coming up, and my members in the group were talking about, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? I was like, I don't want to touch any of those. FFIE was a rare case. I'm not going to touch any of these. But in Beyond Meat's case, it's obviously the priority. But HTZ, the days to cover, that one got me very, very interested, right? That one got me very, very interested. Usually, when the days to cover is, 5 or higher, it kind of says that there is a lot of short sellers here. This indicates that short sellers will have, it would take them 5 days to buy back all of the shares that they have borrowed and sold as short. So 5 days is a long time. There could be a lot that can happen. Well, and of course, this is assuming that the daily trading volume right now on HTZ remains the same, right? Obviously, if volume increases, this will go down, in my opinion. But if 5 is pretty interesting. All I'm gonna say with this particular stock is just keep an eye on it. It's at $5, but even with 100% move, you will make money. Even if it's a 20% move, you'll make money. Just keep an eye on this one, because this could be a interesting play here. And what I'm kind of looking at is, I mean, there is gaps to fill up to like $4 here. So the cheaper it goes, probably going to be a lot easier to buy it. It does have earnings coming up on 4th of November. But, if it starts getting interesting, we could see $6 being a lot of resistance on this stock. Take out that $6, the next level, you're going to probably see around 670. After that, I would say 750. And if you can clear 750, you have, 850. In the past, it did go for a nice run here. Nothing crazy, but if you look at back over here, I mean, this stock can go for some big spikes. I mean, this one went from like $10 to $35 over here. It even exploded more. I mean, this stock has a history of going pretty explosive. I mean, over here you have $11 to $50. I mean, you can see this one has a history of going nuts. What if it tries to go nuts one more time as a sympathy play to Beyond Meat, right? Is there any fundamentals in this company? Honestly, I don't know. I didn't do the research. I just looked at the short interest and the days to cover it, and it kind of made me feel excited. So yeah, just something to keep an eye on. I may just play a $6, $7 call for November and see what happens. Maybe I win, maybe I don't. Who knows? But could be something interesting. And then the last thing I want to mention. This is one last final stock. And take it with a grain of salt. But CRCL has a lot of call option buyer for November 11th. Now, I hope I can find it because I accidentally closed it. But I saw that there was a lot of calls being bought very far out of the money. And when I say very far out of the money, I mean like very, very, very far out of the money. And that got me kind of curious because when I see something unusual like that, or when you see something unusual like that, it oftentimes, most likely, the reason for it is somebody knows some kind of news is coming. Now, it's obviously hypothetical, right? We have seen right before AMD's big spike, somebody was buying up a tremendous amount of contracts. So that was very evident of how AMD was going to do. So that was one of them. We saw before the Bitcoin spike, somebody went and did a lot of crazy stuff with Bitcoin. They made a tremendous amount of money, and like it was, I think, during the crash, right, where Trump tweeted about China and stuff, and then market crashed, and then Bitcoin crashed as well, and somebody cashed out like $190 million worth. So yeah, it usually when there is a potential news around the corner, you tend to get these unusual numbers. So for me, what I'm kind of just looking for on CRCL is what can happen, right? Now, the dates for those contracts, those call options, were November 11th, right around when the earnings is. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe somebody's playing this into earnings, and maybe might be some kind of news about earnings, or maybe it's something to relate it to Bitcoin, crypto related news, because CRCL is a crypto related stock. It is in that hemisphere. So to me, it just gets me interested in watching this. I did play this stock in the past when it had this major spike. We were extremely early on this stock when it had its massive run. I tweeted it a bunch of times in my Twitter talking about how this one has the potential to run big, and we caught a big win on this one. It was one of our biggest played this year. And this stock is volatile. It can go nuts. It has a shares float of 140 million, and it is $100+ stock. It can go crazy. It can run a lot. So that's something that I would like you all to keep an eye on the off chance that heading into its earnings, it tries to be funny. And hey, maybe I may even play a call option. Now, the funny thing is that the call options are like 385. They're so far out of the money. It's crazy. They're so far out of the money. I want to show you guys right now where it is, so you guys can see, like, this is just wild. See, so if you just type CRCL on Twitter, they kind of tell you right here. So some people who actually focus on the flow and stuff, there you go. So like, look at all of these call options. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. These are November 21st. Okay, my bad, not November 11th, but November 21st. right? It's like a week after earnings. Look at the amount of call options. These are 385 strike. These are 385 strike. Is I would understand if it was, like a $200 strike into earnings. I would be like, okay, that's doable. 385? That's crazy. The only reason I can think of is some big news is gonna drop for this company, and it's gonna go nuts. So i I'm just wondering, is that the case? Because these are some big flow. These are some extreme levels of flow. I mean, maybe it's a retail, maybe it's a guy who just wants to lose money. I don't know. Maybe it's a rich guy just doing their thing, or maybe it's a big dude with some kind of information who knows something is coming, or last but not least, it's a guy from the future who knows exactly what's going to happen, and he bought it and he wants to get rich quick. So I'm curious how this plays out, because this is unusual levels of call flow. I may even just buy some 385 calls just to see if they're gonna hit, because these are not that expensive. They're $1.40 premium. These are not that bad. So I would be more than happy to risk some. Maybe I might even just buy some 350 calls just because, why not? But yeah, somebody's loading up on these, and I want to know why. I'm kind of curious. So watch out for that. Okay. All right, folks. That's it for this video. It is a morning video that I don't really usually do morning videos, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to sign up. Make sure to subscribe and like the video. And if you want to join my private group where I post all of my alerts and trades and everything, you can join through here. And yeah, I mean, Discord has it all. We bought Beyond Meat at a very cheap price. That thing is gone. We played IWM yesterday. It went up 150%. There, yeah, we played GM, went up a lot. We had App. App also made money. App went up to like what, 25%. So it's just a roller coaster. This challenge account has been amazing. This year has been amazing. There's so much more room to make lots of money. Use the code 1 month. It will be in the descriptions below. Click on the link, use the code 1 month. You get monthly subscription for the first month at 75% off. You can join in just for a small $10, and you'll see how much you make off of this room. All right, I will see you guys on the next video. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.